It is time once again for another episode of Goodwin Square, where stories are told from around the country about people that mean so well, but somehow their actions come out kind of square. Today's story takes us to a forlorn rooftop parking lot late at night in downtown Pasadena, where for months and months and months a lonely person sat in a car in the middle of the parking lot. Empty parking lot. After all, this was 1999, maybe 2000. This was years before the invasion of the I care so much about you, I will do anything. The Rescue Rangers and the Marvel Comics of today. Anyways, I was a homeless man in Pasadena, California at the time, and I found refuge in the sanctuary of Fullerton Seminary parking lot on the campus of Fullerton in downtown Pasadena. It is no longer there. Fullerton just recently decided to move out to, I believe it's Pomona. The reason being is that Pasadena had just become too expensive for its students. Okay, it's a top flight seminary school. It is a major seminary school. It's been there for years, named after the Reverend Fullerton, that used to have a radio broadcast on. The radio in the days when radio was popular in the country. So I sought shelter in a stairwell of a parking garage. And there, out of sight, for many, many months, I lived and breathed and went unmolested by any Batman or any Wonder Woman. Because, well, it was before Batman and Wonder Woman. It was when kids cared and weren't righteous, okay? But, you know, in the name of the Lord and Madonna. But I used to notice as I would leave the parking lot during the night, usually late at night, when I would go before curfew to pick up another bottle of beer or can of beer or whatever I could afford at the time, I would notice somebody sitting in a car in the middle of the parking lot on the roof. Okay, and I didn't think much of it. I just let it be. I was like, I don't know, maybe a loner or somebody depressed or, you know, just wanting to be alone and get away. It didn't bother me. But over time, it got to bother me because after a while, I noticed that this single person sitting in this single car in a lone parking lot was all of a sudden like bulking up. It started with the radio, okay, and just eventually progressed to like cigarettes and, you know, a cigarette smoke. I assume it was cigarette smoke at the time. It was also a time when, you know, marijuana was illegal, so maybe a cigar, but it, like I said, it was before Batman and Wonder Woman. So anyways, I noticed that like this person in this lone car in the parking lot was just like bulking up. It was like, you know, and I'm not saying like overnight. I'm not saying like day to day. I'm talking like month to month. There was somebody in that car in that parking lot every night sitting there. And it wasn't security. I never was, you know, It was not security. And it was a time when, security people and would actually be security people, and they would have uniforms, and they would, be security, and But it wasn't security, and it wasn't the police. Again, it was a time when police would sit in cars that were marked, police, Pasadena or, Los Angeles. So anyways, one time, I don't know if I got frustrated or angry or something, but I felt after a while like, it's like I'm now the joke of the campus. It's like they're out there like angels, if you will, looking over me, if you will, this homeless man who tends to, drink a bit too much. And so it was like, okay, angels looking over me. Now let's see how angelic they are, because it was like, now it was getting to the point where it was like, all right, I'm the joke of the campus, and like, all right, who wants to save, Mr. Homeless tonight? And, we got a TV for you to watch, by the time, it all ended. They had a TV in there. I don't know how it got in there, but it was like, I don't know, but, they were watching TV and video or something in there. It's like every night, So finally I went up and, I pulled the door handle to the passenger side, and I was all ready to be saved by these angels of mercy that have been watching over me all these months. And immediately, this young man in the car kind of like, put himself together, and dug into his pockets, grabbed the keys of his car, and started the engine. And so I'm pulling on the handle, the door's locked. And I'm pulling on the handle, and finally, it's like, he turns to me, waves his hand as if to say, give up, I'm getting out of here, you're not getting in here. And he drives off. Never saw those angels again in the parking lot. It's just, the angels done disappeared after that 3 a.m. wake-up call, I guess, from the crazy man in the stairwell to the parking lot of the college campus.